everybody. Welcome to another riveting episode of Question Mark Mondays with the Master Esthetician. I'm SkyLee. I'm the Master Esthetician. And, I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. Instead of answering 3 questions, I'm going to answer one very big question. But also, as you may have noticed, I'm not wearing any makeup today. That is because I feel like it's very easy to give advice on beautiful skin and to talk to people about it when you're wearing makeup because it tends to cover things up. And there's nothing wrong with that. Makeup is great. I love wearing makeup, it's one of my favorites. But I think the true test of a good esthetician is being able to go out without makeup on and still feeling like you have great skin. And you might be thinking, like, well, whatever, you don't understand what it's like to struggle with acne or this or that. And I do. I struggled very seriously with acne all of my teenage years. My entire cheeks and jaw and chin were just covered in breakouts. And then I had the fortunate event of being bombarded with some poison ivy, which caused me to have a rash on my forehead that turned into breakouts. So I have struggled, and I did used to have a lot of acne scarring and things like that. And over the years, I have worked very hard to get rid of it and to fix it and get my skin to a really good place. And it didn't happen overnight. It was definitely a struggle. But now it's to a point where I can go out without makeup on and I feel great and I feel like my skin speaks for itself. So I want you to be able to get to that point because makeup is great, but makeup looks even better when you don't have to spend all your time covering up things. You can just enhance your eyes or your cheeks or your lips or whatever it is what makeup was intended to be used for. So today's big question is, why is my routine not working for me? I feel like I've tried all these different things and I'm just not getting anywhere. And I hear that a lot. And I have noticed a trend that most of the time when people say that, of course, my first question is, tell me in a week's time exactly what you're using and how often, when, what it is. And 90% of the time, I find that people are using far too many different things in a small amount of time. Whether it's because they got samples in their Ipsy or BoxyCharm or whatever box they got, or because someone told them it was a great product and it worked for them, so they wanted to try it. And the problem with that is that skin is kind of like a toddler. It needs routine, it needs discipline, it needs structure, it needs to know what to expect. And if it doesn't get that, it tends to go crazy and just run rampant. So you want to be very strict with what you're putting on your skin. And I understand, oh, I'm getting all these samples, what am I supposed to do with them? Well, it's fine to try one thing out here and there, but when you're trying 5 different new things each week, your skin is going to freak out. I would freak out. So you want to really try to be regimented. And I always say too, you will not know if a product is working if you don't give it a chance to actually work. I say at least 3 to 4 weeks. Obviously, if you have a reaction right away, you probably don't want to use it again. But if you're not getting the results you want, it's probably because you're not using it for a long enough period of time. There is no magic ingredient that will just clear up your face overnight. If there was, every single person would use it and it would be the hottest selling thing on the market. Every other company would go out of business. It's just not realistic. You have to take into account all of the background that goes into skin, like diet, exercise, where you work, if you're outside, how old you are, what medication you're on, if you're on birth control, if you're a girl or a boy, all those things factor in. So it's not just one magic product that fixes everybody. Now, being regimented and using a certain routine and making sure you use it the correct amount is going to play a humongous part in it. Because yes, the internal is important, but you also want to be treating the topical as well. So I always tell people, read your product labels, but even more, find yourself an esthetician who can give you a good consultation and recommendation. Because while the box might say to do something a certain amount of times a week or day, that doesn't mean that that is what everyone should be doing, because everyone's different. It's like I've said before, some people need to cleanse twice a day, some only need to cleanse once a day. So it's really important to find someone who can look at the bigger picture and get everything together and take all of that into account when making a recommendation for you. So if you would like a consultation and you're in Tucson, feel free to contact me. Otherwise, if you want to message me for recommendations, I know estheticians all over the country. I can refer you to someone who would be great in your area, because that is going to be where you're going to see the most benefit, what you're using at home. I always tell people, you can come see me once a month. And I can do things in my treatment room you can't do at home because I have professional only products. But if your home care is not where it needs to be, it's like being on a diet 1 day a week and then 6 days a week eating like crap. You're never going to get anywhere. And while you may come in every 4 weeks and see me and I can do something really cool on you and a little bit more upgraded, I'm basically going to keep getting you back to square one if you're not doing things at home. Whereas if you're at home, 7 days a week doing what you need to be doing, every time you see me, I can take you a little bit farther than you would be able to at home. So, just keep that in mind. Also, making sure that you're using products that are meant for your specific skin. The problem with Ipsy and BoxyCharm is they don't always take into account your exact needs. You might get a mask and you think it's amazing and you put it on and use it and then you realize it's meant for someone who's got anti-aging or mature skin and you're really oily and you probably just made it worse. So, it's fun to try new things. It's fun to get like cool little samples in your box, but just be very sparing with how you're using them. If you have further questions, feel free to message me. If you have another question you'd like me to answer, please feel free to message me. I definitely love doing these videos and I hope that they help at least one person. That's all I ask. If not, that's cool too. I enjoy hanging out here in front of the camera. But it's been informative, at least for me. I don't know about for you. I feel like I always learn something every time I do one of these videos. So definitely like, subscribe, share. The word should get out. And if you would like, again, to debate anything I've said, feel free because it's my favorite. But otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Have yourselves a great Monday. Bye.